welcome to today's episode of The Unstoppables. Today I have an amazing, inspiring lady, Patricia from Spice Property Development, who was one of our students only in the last couple of years, and she is doing her first development, not a little one, but probably a little medium-sized project, which is a $10 million deal, should we say it? And we're going to go into details about where Patricia got started into property and what she was doing before to where she's now. So welcome, Patricia.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Really happy to talk with you today about your journey and everything that you've done. So just tell everybody, introduce a little bit about yourself and who you are, and what were you doing before property, and when did you get started in property?
Okay, well, I've always been interested in property, but my background was in IT. So I've worked as a software engineer, analyst, project manager, and then I've had my own businesses over the last few years. And but for the last 20 years, I've been investing in property. Buying and renovating as well, and bits of sort of house and land packages, and also more as a JV partner, but not hands-on development.
So buying house and land packages or building?
Building. So buying land and building a house.
Fantastic.
But again, I've had project managers, so I haven't really haven't been hands-on.
Yep. And, you've run very successful businesses that you've started, which is in HR, IT. And
recruitment.
Yeah, you've got amazing, skills in business.
Yes.
And I guess what drove you into looking further into doing a property or property development?
Well, I'm a little bit of an entrepreneur. So I started my first side business selling PCs and software when I was about 25.
As you do.
Yeah. So, and I'm always trying to improve myself. So, I've had my career, I've changed careers, I've had businesses. So, property has been an interest. So, after renovation and then you're buying and selling and stuff like that, development obviously has, a lot of profit. So manufacturing growth.
Yeah.
So that was really the next step. And, it's pretty challenging.
So let's talk about it. I think you've always been in business. You want to see what property development's about. So you said, okay, well, I want to learn about property development. You met Jason and I, learned some of the information that, we teach about development, and said, okay, let's get into deal. Tell us, what is your very first development deal?
Well, I'll talk about this big one. So
what is it?
It's developing 16 townhouses in Albion in Victoria.
Yes.
And it started off, we have a business where a client of ours was trying to sell part of his land. It was actually the Sunshine City Club, and they were in a bit of financial difficulty. But they didn't know how to go about subdividing the land. So it was a great opportunity, and they wanted to get rid of about 2,000 square meters of that. So we kind of offered, we did an option deal and said, look, if we can do this for you, we negotiated a price. So, yeah, we just went ahead with that. Originally, there was a heritage house on the block. So that was one of the things that, I don't think I'll ever get a block of land with a heritage house on it. Because
there's a story there.
Yeah, there's a story there, because on that same block, I've actually got a permit for 46 apartments.
Right.
So the only way we could knock the heritage house down, demolish it, was if we could show council that we needed to develop it. And council wanted apartments on that block at the time. So it took another year to actually get that permit through. So
to remove this heritage house.
To remove the heritage house and also get the planning permit 46 apartments.
I actually remember that journey at the beginning was to do apartments.
Yes.
I remember, and you were getting quotes and bill prices and, looking at selling 46 apartments at the time.
Yes.
So you had a few different scenarios with the project, and
right.
and that was looking really profitable too.
Oh, it was very profitable.
Yeah.
But then the sales would have been over a $20 million project, which meant the construction costs would have been a lot higher. So in terms of our just a stress level, it was going to be it was beyond my stress levels. Even, with the $10 million deal, I'm finding it, a little bit stressful.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and at the time, the market started to soften with apartments in Melbourne.
Yes.
So we thought it would be easier to sell 16 townhouses than to sell 46 apartments.
Yeah, right.
So it took another year for us to get another permit to build townhouses.
Yeah, interesting, the journey, because this project kind of fell into your lap, and, you jump into the skills of, getting the due diligence. You can do apartments, you can demolish the heritage house, and the market changed.
Yes.
Feasibility change. All right, let's do 16 townhouses. There's a demand for it. People want to buy it. There's a profit in it. And now you're into actually construction of these townhouses. What part of construction you at with these townhouses?
We're frame stage.
Exciting.
Yes. So with COVID, we were affected by COVID.
Sure.
Obviously, I mean, everyone was. But the good thing about it was that the house prices in Melbourne rose. So we were able to increase our prices. However, because of the shortage of materials, we also had to go to steel frames, which probably
ate some of it profit. Yep.
It ate into our profit. But at the end of the day, it's still a profitable project.
Yeah.
And so hopefully we will finish by September next year.
Fantastic. And did you have to sell any off the plan?
We didn't have to. Again, with COVID, the banks were not lending.
Sure.
So we went to a sort of a smaller company, and we didn't need any pre-sales, but we've actually sold 13 out of 16.
Oh my goodness, already. And you're still 9 months away from finishing.
Yes.
And did you get the prices that you want?
Well, yes and no.
Tell us.
We could actually put them a lot higher.
Sure, yes, because the market's moved.
We've decided we don't really want to be too greedy, because we don't know what's going to happen by the time they finished. And if we were to sell them, it depends on the valuation. If the valuation comes, with what's going to happen next year with APRA and all that sort of, issues, potential issues, we thought, well, we'll just sort of, we listened to our local agent, who said, look, I can't sell them for a certain price, but I can sell them at this price, and which is a little bit lower, but it's still higher than our original, when we did the feasibility.
Yeah.
So that next year, if they do value it a little bit lower, that, the first-time buyers can still
get into it.
Yeah, to get into it. So
yeah, well, that's a really achievement to sell 13 out of 16 when you've just started construction, because you're de-risking the project, and I'm sure you'll be able to sell the 3 even before you finish construction, and still get a high price. Now, looking at the figures, it's a $10 million GRV, what you're going to sell them for. TDC about 8.6 million. So we're looking at a pretty good healthy profit of about 1.6 million.
Yes, that's right. It would have been a lot, a little bit
pretty
more.
Good.
But with COVID, and COVID affected us, with the holding costs and things like that. So, but it's still, we have to be happy.
It's like a done deal that the profit's there. And I guess looking at the project, there's profits there, which amazing profit really. And, one of my questions is, what are you going to do with that profit on completion?
With the we haven't decided. So we've got so many options. So we'll probably look at another deal, but because with COVID, I'm just going to go on a long holiday and just take it easy for a while, and then maybe just
a bit of a reward. Yeah.
Spend a bit on whatever on rewards.
Yes, we're all about rewards, because any project you do is like a journey. You go through the roller coaster ups and downs, and it takes time to get there. And if you don't do anything with it, then what is that reward, right?
That's right.
It's just a passing phase, right? So yeah, great. So a bit of reward there. And look, what is, I guess, one of the biggest challenges with this project that you've gone through so far and that you've overcome?
This project, Amy, you teach about lots of different strategies and issues and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think this project covers a majority of those issues. And, in the same deal, we've had the heritage, we've had trees, we've had, I've, done an option deal. I've actually we had to do the subdivision because the land was part of a larger block. So I actually had to put, the sewer and everything in. So it was a proper subdivision that we had to do before we could actually build the land. And then we got the permit, for apartments, townhouses, and then we had COVID, and the list just goes on. So they work. One other thing, when we did get the permit, the council actually changed their minds, and we had to do. We now, it costs us another 80,000, but we had to put in an OSD, which is an on-site
detention. Yep.
And even though they actually went back and changed the permit.
So that wasn't part of the DA. That was part of the building permit after you got the DA.
No, it was part of the DA.
Right, but they put it in later.
Yes, and we said, well, you can't do that. Well, they said we just did. So
that is the beauty of dealing with council, because they make the rules, right? Mm-hmm. And what did you do? You just had to factor that cost in and, get quotes to do as cost effectively?
We spent the next sort of 3 months begging council, trying to, I tried to talk to the planning manager because I'm, got a good rapport with her. And it's always good to have contacts in the council. Mm-hmm. And so I could actually just ring her up. In fact, I spoke to her yesterday about another issue, and she was happy to advise because I've been dealing with her for the last 3 years now.
Yeah.
Just begged, and my engineer, I kept, we tried to negotiate with the council engineers to say, look, can we please do this? And they wanted us to put OSD on 2 sites, and we managed to on the club site, and we managed to say, look, we don't want to do that. Can we just do it on our site? And then reduce the impact. And my storm engineer did, really good calculations. And and the council engineers actually didn't really know what they were doing. So our engineers,
interesting.
So advice along, and so we came to a really good compromise. Yeah.
Wow. I really think you should definitely make a list of all the challenges that came up and how you overcame them, because it's really good, I guess, learning exercise to go, wow, we've achieved a lot in this project, because it's almost like multiple project within the one project with all your different strategies and approvals and the outcome that you've come to, which is almost like a blessing in disguise, because you're very knowledgeable of this process of, doing a good big project. I guess, what is some of your advice that you would give to other people starting out in property development in terms of, some of the key stuff that you've learned in this project?
I guess be true to yourself and sort of do your due diligence, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Mm.
And if someone says no, it doesn't mean no. You need to actually find out why and come up with some creative ideas of there's always more than one way, one solution. The sewer was one of them, because the engineer did the wrong thing, and they designed a sewer underneath the apartments, and I looked at it and I go, that doesn't work, and he wasn't paying attention. And they're supposed to be the experts. So I picked that one up, and I didn't really know much about sewers and things like that. So I think you just need to be on top of everyone, really.
Yeah, the process along the way.
Yeah, don't assume that they know what just because they're the expert doesn't mean they're always right. And often they don't have anyone to check their work. So you need to be informed and actually learn about things, and reports that come, when you have the geotech report, read every single thing and then ask questions.
Yeah. I love what you said, that, you never take no for an answer, and you always keep asking questions, because it is so true. Even with our journey in property, we've had situations where one engineer said, this is what's going to happen, this is a report. And then another engineer said, no, we've got another solution which is much cost effective. And council will accept that too. So I think it's really important to grow that team of consultants, not just have one engineer, civil engineer. You're going to have 2 to 3 civil engineers that you can go back to and get different ideas for solutions.
Yes.
And even council doesn't know, the solution sometimes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
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 So that's really exciting. I think a lot of learnings have come from this particular deal itself.
Yes.
I guess you hear about, the demand and supply at the moment. Is there a lot of demand for that type of product that you're building with the townhouses?
Yes, there is, because it's at the right price point where, obviously the property prices are rising, and then, so we this is aimed for first home buyers.
Yes.
And it's affordable.
Yes.
For them. And people who don't want to live in apartments, and can't afford the bigger houses. This is just a really nice price point. Most of the townhouses are 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, and 2-car garage. They're side-by-side garages.
Wow, which is perfect.
Yeah, right. And we've put in, a good security system, cameras, so sort of semi-high tech, and the quality is sort of medium quality.
Fantastic.
We're not putting in cheap stuff.
It's quality product that everybody can afford too, which is really on point, right? We're meeting that demand and building products that, as a developer, you can ship very quickly. That's really important. Yes. So what about the next project, Patricia? What do you envisage? Would you do a project like this again, given that there's a demand for this sort of stock? Or, what sort of builds would you like to do?
Well, I wouldn't mind doing a similar project, because I think our design's really good.
Yeah.
I guess there was only one thing that if I could, I would put an ensuite on the ground floor bedroom.
Sure. Yep.
But aside from that, moving forward, I'd like to focus on sort of green energy and sustainability, and think of how we can actually, obviously council, they make us, have the 6-star rating and everything, but if we could go that next step and still make it feasible as a project, I think that's probably the way to go.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, because as you can see, we've got solar panels, a lot of housing, people are moving forward to electric cars, and, people want, more sustainable living. And if there is that demand out there, it's our responsibility as builders and developers to be able to provide a product, right? that meet that demand. I see that trend already with a lot of building materials, and it's about educating the buyers out there on how we design, how we build. I know Jason and I work with a building biologist these days on the design aspect of the housing. So we won't put electric directly behind the bed head area, and we'll look at plumbing that flows away from bedroom as well, which is integrating a lot of nature components to it, which doesn't actually necessarily cost more. It's just about getting a specialist to come in that design process with an architect. So would that be luxury houses, townhouses, apartments, or you're open?
I'm open.
Yeah.
I like to have a few projects.
Yes, of course.
So the townhouse, really proud of what we're going to be building with finished product.
Yeah.
Because it's a high, it's a good quality townhouse, and the design's really good, especially for, since COVID.
Yes.
People want to live work from home, and they want the home gym, and the living areas indoors are probably a bit larger.
Yeah.
So so it would be, and what we've done is actually that townhouse with a big living area and also the study downstairs. But I would love to build luxury homes as well.
Well, that's something definitely you've got the skills and the knowledge to be able to do, and it's just really tapping into your next project, isn't it?
Yes.
And how do you feel property has changed your lifestyle? I know we were chatting a little bit before we started here about how during, these 2 years, COVID has changed a lot of income situations and some of your business as well. But you've got a portfolio of properties through the past as well, that has provided you some income through this time. Like, how does that feel, and your view of, having property versus other businesses or other income?
Well, property certainly has been for me, has been my main project. We do have other, businesses.
Yes.
But it's something that I've been focusing on. So that's where I would like to continue. But
it's also shown you during these times of uncertainty, people still need housing to live in.
Yes.
People are still paying rent. People are still buying property. In fact, it's never been a busier time for property, where people are shifting, improving, upgrading, building, and property prices are surging all around Australia.
Yeah. So during COVID, especially, our other business, which is our main business, we deal with hotels and clubs. And with the lockdown in Victoria, we had no income from that business.
Wow.
Very little. When it was when it's shut, we got no income. So we were in lockdown for probably 8 months last year, and then quite a few months this year. And property, it's been a lifesaver because we can get our income from our rental income.
Yeah, and it's stable. It just comes in no matter what happens. People are still living, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and look, a question I've got for you is, obviously you're a very successful woman in business already. How do you feel about women doing property deals and people who are, have no knowledge or just getting started? What are our capabilities?
Oh, we can do anything. I think the biggest hurdle is just a mindset.
Yeah.
Getting
started.
Yeah. Just don't be afraid. Just follow your dream, follow your heart, and don't worry about what other people say. In the construction industry, property industry, it's male oriented.
Yes.
And dealing with engineers, I mean, Amy, I just ignore them, and especially with this project, it's like, I'm the boss. You listen to me.
I'm paying the bills.
I'm paying I'm paying you, I'm the builder.
Yeah.
And it's just don't be afraid. Just go for it.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that message because we have so many of our community who are women. And, I started with no experience in property as well, in, a different career, and just, got skilled up over the years and get better with experience. But, women are so good at multitasking, at, finding solutions, at, being a mum, you have to multitask. You're doing, a couple of things at the one time, and you just get on with it, right? Yes. And also I find we're very good at building relationships.
Yes.
And even though we deal with a lot of male in this property industry, they actually love dealing with us because we're super organized. Yes. We get things done, and we don't come from a hard manner. It's normally quite respectful, and they get their bills paid on time. Who doesn't love that, right?
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. And just don't feel intimidated by the guys.
No. I bring coffees to them if they're builders on site, and they might get the kitchens or something done quicker. And yeah, look, it's a win-win, really.
I did that the other day with coffees, as you suggested one, right? And nobody wanted my coffees because they said, "Oh, sorry, is that milk? I drink soy." And I'm going, "Oh no." That was quite
fancy
funny.
Builders there. And you need the nut milks.
Yeah, they've been bringing the microwaves in to warm their food up. Do you have that?
Yes, they do. It's actually standard now.
Yeah.
And it's not the 2-minute noodles. It's like proper meals.
Yeah, it's proper. Yeah. We have a lot of Vietnamese in that area.
Yes.
So they've been, the workers, they bring all their whatever noodles and stuff, and then they
That's a very fancy building site you've got there. Yes. So one last question, I guess, for everybody listening here. I guess, what is the biggest tip that you can let people know to get started if they haven't done property before?
Educate yourself. I think just ask questions, read a lot, and start doing some different courses, the online courses, maybe your course.
Yep.
So
all good. Yeah, and really surrounding yourself with like-minded people. I think that's really important because you're going to get a lot of people who are like, what are you doing? Why are you putting $10 million there? And why are you investing in there? Because they don't know how much you know, right?
Yeah.
And to think that you're making amazing, 7-figure profits in this one deal, even though there was a lot of challenge, it's well worth it. You'd do it again, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's super inspiring, Patricia, what you've done, and to have this as your very first development deal and have multiple deals within it. I think it was meant to be. And you get rewarded at the end. And I'm really excited to see what's coming next for you. Spices Property Development, check it out. Patricia's, put a lot of her heart in her design of these beautiful townhouses, because I've seen that evolution from apartments to these townhouses. And you're not keeping any at all?
No, not this time.
Yep.
Maybe the next one.
Yeah, awesome. I'm sure next one will be more beautiful.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, Patricia. Follow Patricia on her Facebook, and I'm sure you'll see exciting things to come. And for all of those, women wanting to get into property, I'm sure this has definitely given you a bit of insight and motivation to get started, because anybody can do it. So thank you. We'll catch you again soon.
Great. Thanks, Amy.
Thanks, Patricia. Bye.